Hello, everyone. Welcome to YFA episode 20. Sadly, this week it's just me. Al couldn't make it. He's a little busy, but hopefully next week we'll have another duo episode. But this week, it was kind of like not a huge week, but some things came out of it that were pretty interesting. Obviously, one of them being the Dead Rising remake kind of showcase. And we also have the uh, teaser trailer for Hellboy: The Crooked Man, which was very interesting. I'll tell you that much. And one more thing, I can't remember right now off the top of my head. And you look at my list, but if you've been enjoying these past few episodes, please leave a like, comment, and please subscribe. I know we just hit like 104 views on our last podcast. That might have just been because of the algorithm and it's all Dr. Disrespect and it was showing up on some people's recommended feed. And then kind of roping back into what I was saying, with the confirmation of the remake for Dead Rising, we also got a confirmation that we're also getting a Resident Evil 9. It's in the works because during the showcase, they showed off Resident Evil on mobile devices, Apple specifically. So can't wait for graphics comparisons or like seeing people playing Resident Evil on the bus. But anyways, let's get into our first topic, which is the Dead Rising remake. Now, this series is really close to my heart because I played the first one with my cousin, and then the second one I bought for the PS3, which oddly enough, short story, I had a PS3, the original PS3, and those are notorious for having shitty fans. So when I was playing Dead Rising, my PS3 overheated and it wouldn't want to turn back on. So to this day, I still have that PS3. To this day, my Dead Rising 2 copy is still stuck inside of it. And I think I still have the box for Dead Rising 2 as well. But anyways, so Dead Rising Deluxe remaster. So the reason a lot of people have been like, oh, is it a remaster? Is it a remake? And it was confirmed during the showcase that it is a remake. They call it a deluxe remaster because, well, they didn't change any of the dialogue or anything like that. They didn't change a lot of animations. They wanted to keep it kind of true to the first game. But in doing that, they completely overhauled graphically the lighting, the environments. They updated all the zombies. So basically, in the original one, they had to do quantity over quality. So there was a lot of zombies on screen, but very not so good, like quality wise, in the in the gaming department for Dead Rising 1. And then they were like, this game was made 18 years ago. It needs a new coat of paint. So now they can do both, quality and quantity. So there's a shit ton of zombies on screen, along with the higher resolutions and everything. And a lot of quality of life changes. There's autosave now, so you don't have to go to a bathroom and save like in the original one. There is, what do you call it? The case menu is a lot different, so you can choose the cases or look back at cases that you just completed. And then you can now fast forward time, because in the original Dead Rising, after like certain chapters of the story, you'd have to wait for the next case to open up. So like, I can't remember. Let's say like you capture Carlito or something, or not capture Carlito. What? I can't remember the big like points in the story, but basically, like right after a big thing happens, they'll go like, "Oh, see you in like a couple hours when we have the next part of the case," and you literally have to wait in game time, like AFK or fuck around the map and just kill zombies until what's her face tells you, "Hey, come back, we found something." But you can now just pull up your watch and you can just fast forward time to the next big scoop, which a lot of people are very divisive on. They're like, "Oh, what the hell? Like why aren't you keeping it true to the original game?" Which I feel like, okay, well, who the fuck is gonna stand around for like, I believe it's 4 in-game hours, which is like in real life hours is like an hour, I think, for the next scoop. So like some people just want to continue the story, and I get like challenge runs where like you can't this is gonna be like a probably a new section for Dead Rising, like completions completionist channels. There's some channels that literally just upload a full playthrough of all the collectibles, all the achievements completed in one run, and it's possible. And basically, I can see that being like the complete, achievements, all upgrades, blah blah blah, max level playthrough, no fast forwarding type stuff. Like I can see that being a category, or not a category, but a new video uploaded by one of those channels. But overall, it's looking good. Like I said, they changed the lighting, the graphics, I believe they changed the voice actor for Frank. We don't know who. Well, actually, I don't know who it is. I think people already found out the name. I'm gonna wait until the game fully comes out to fully put my like 2 cents in, because I mean he sounded okay in the teaser trailer. Um, Frank's design, at first I didn't like it, but it is growing on me. I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of growing on me. But yeah, I can't wait to. Oh my god, I can't wait to play it because I am so excited. Like I said, small part of my childhood, played it like a chunk, and then I had to stop because my PS3 overheated and everything. So can't wait for it to come out and for me to play it. There's like a pre-order bonus with a bunch of skins, and a lot of them are callbacks to like characters from Capcom, and obviously everyone's favorite American. I think he's American. Yeah, everyone's favorite American, Chuck Green from the second Dead Rising game, who's my favorite character. But yeah, it's looking to be a good remake. This will determine whether or not we'll get a sequel to Dead Rising, like the main. Like this is a remaster, so there's not really much of like a new story, new characters you have to get used to. It's like no, just a Frank and the people from Willamette Mall. But yeah, if this flops, we're never gonna get another Dead Rising game. It's gonna absolutely just get thrown into the tank. I'm just so glad that Capcom was like, hey, Dead Rising's still here. We never forgot about it, which is so good. I can't wait to play it. But yeah, basically, the remake's looking great. Quality of life stuff, a lot of good things. AI is way better. The AI from Dead Rising 1 was notoriously like ass. But let's go on to our next topic, which is going to be talking about Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Now, I haven't read that many Hellboy comic books. I know a few, especially the Crooked Man. It's been a very long time since I've read that book or that comic. But basically, it's looking to be diving into more like the paranormal side of Hellboy, like the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy, and the one that came out recently, Hellboy by David Harberson, or I can't remember his name, but the Harbor Dead Boy and the Guillermo Dead Boy are very like action oriented, a little like the the Harbor Hellboy dealt with some of the paranormal stuff, when he had that scene with Baba Yaga, I think, and like all the troll stuff like that deals more with like fantasy, not really paranormal. But this one is obviously a new Hellboy, not David Harbour. I don't think they asked for him to come back for this one, but there is a what do you call it? There's a new actor. His name is Josh Josh Cray, I think his name. I mean, from the 2 lines we hear in the trailer, he doesn't sound too bad. The costume for Hellboy looks great. His pistol, better. I like the design overall. Maybe I'm so used to the gruff sounding, like kind of like 50-year-old sounding voice of Guillermo's Hellboy, and then there's like the preteen, like kind of like 30-year-old Hellboy from Harbor's Hellboy, was like, I'm on your side. I can't remember how he sounded, but I liked Hellboy from Guillermo del Toro. I think he was just a perfect actor for Hellboy. But anyways, there can be more Hellboys. I'm looking forward to how he performs. Like I said, this is diving into more of the paranormal side. I can't remember the Crooked Man that well, but all I know is that Hellboy was sent there, and then some weird, like, ghostly paranormal shit starts happening, and he does get into a couple fights, but well, a couple fights. I think he only has like one in the comic. Dude, it's been forever since I seen that comic book, but basically, it's looking good. There's been a lot of mixed opinions. I know some people are like, "Oh, it looks okay." I mean, it looks like a high budget fan film, which, I mean, that isn't bad. That means that fans are behind it. Like, there's someone who likes Hellboy that made this movie. But there's like people who take that as like, oh my god, it's gonna be low budget ass. The character writing is gonna be like third grade, like opera house, like Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down thy hairth, which isn't the case. I feel like this is gonna be a great movie. I am gonna go out there with a little bit of low expectations. I'm not looking for like action pack. I'm looking for practically a horror movie. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next with that. And then like I said, the costume designs are great. The actor for Hellboy looks great. The other actors look amazing, and the sound design, everything, it just looks fine. It looks great. I'm a little hesitant. Obviously, I'm burned from Harbor's Hellboy, but it didn't like scar me, or like I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it. I just knew it was very much not the Hellboy I was expecting. But anyways, let's go on to our last topic. This is actually going to go back to kind of the Dead Rising topic earlier. But during that showcase, they showed off, hey, look, we're having Resident Evil on our mobile devices, and it's Resident Evil 7. That's the game that's coming to mobile devices. I was very vague on which Resident Evil is coming to mobile devices. Imagine they were just like, oh, here's Resident Evil 1, and it's like the original Resident Evil 1, just like this 8-bit, you know. But it wasn't. It was Resident Evil 7, which is very welcomed. I mean, hey, if you want to be scared on the way home, go ahead, play it. But during that showcase, I believe it's the producer, or can't remember. It's been a couple days since the showcase, but one of the figureheads was like, yeah, we get asked this question a lot, but yes, we are working on the next Resident Evil 9, and we understand that 5 and 6 were the divisive ones because they're very action oriented, and got like pulled away from the horror aspect of Resident Evil. And they basically understand the IP. They're like, people aren't necessarily there to see a ton of action, but they're there to get scared. So I think in that, I think they learned some lessons from Resident Evil, obviously Resident Evil 5 and 6 a long time ago, with, you know, that birth Resident Evil 7, which is a lot more grounded. But I think that helped them push the envelope even more, like not push the envelope, but push the line even more in Resident Evil 8, because Resident Evil 8 Village was very much like action packed, in the sense that like there's a lot of enemies, you have a lot more weapons at your disposal, but it was able to keep a good, nice balance of horror. So it wasn't just like, oh, let me just shoot up like 5 rooms full of like monsters and do a puzzle. It's like, no, you're in a very big mansion / castle with a bunch of random mutated people that are turning into werewolves or Vikings and monsters from like this fucking bioweapon and everything. And it's looking cool. It's looking great. So it's looking cool that they're understanding like their player base. Like, hey, we get it. You don't like that much action, but you do like it enough. But you still want to be scared. At the end of the day, that's all the fans of Resident Evil want. Is just to be scared. And I'm glad that they can see that. I'm pretty sure they saw it like a mile away after fucking Resident Evil 6's flop. But yeah, I can't wait for Resident Evil 9. I don't know what to expect. Ethan's story is over. Chris is like super old, and I don't think he's gonna get a game ever again. I think the last one was Resident Evil 5. Oh no, Resident Evil 6. I'm so sorry, I forgot he was in that one. But no, yeah, I don't think we're probably not gonna get Leon. Maybe Leon. That's probably what we're gonna get next is Leon, even though we kind of already had him in the Resident Evil 4 remake. But no, probably either Leon or we're gonna continue with Ethan's daughter, who's like gonna be like the next generation of terrorism or whatever, anti-bioterrorism. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is that it's either we get new characters or we get some revisiting old characters. Because obviously, like I said, Chris Redfield's out of the picture. He's like too old. I don't think he can be a frontman. I think he can be more like an Oracle guy, like the one that calls up and like, what's going on with the mission, blah blah blah. You know, he's hit that age, especially with the Ethan's daughter DLC. Kind of, I think it takes place like 20 years after the events of, or not 20 years. I think Ethan's daughter in this DLC is like 18, 16. I can't remember, but it takes place very long after Resident Evil 8 takes place. So hopefully Resident Evil 9 is just as good as its predecessors, and they are able to bring him, home again. I mean, 8 was pretty good, so I can't wait to see fucking unironic memes of like 9-foot. Well, we have 9-foot sexy vampire lady. What's next? 9-foot werewolf lady, spider lady, spider dude. I don't know. I'm spitballing at this point. But thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. This one's a shorter one because, well, it's just me. This was planned to be like a discussion between me and Al. But hopefully next week we can get his opinions on what I talked about this week. As you can see, you already see my opinions on it, fucking obviously. But I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. This has been YFA episode 20. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.